One of the most insidious things about this administration is the way that they trample over people's rights in an effort to move fast and break things. One of the things that they're breaking is the age-old concept that a citizen can't be deported from their own country. As we learned last week, that is no longer the case after many children, one with cancer, were deported to Honduras. And today, we have new reports that another set of children who were citizens of this country and born here were swept up by ICE and not given a chance to stay here as is standard procedure. Trump's border czar secretly deported 2 U.S. citizen children. 2 citizens, 5 and 4, simply vanished when their mother was lured to an immigration appointment. Folks, adding this to the several other cases that we've covered over the last few weeks, there is a troubling trend towards infringing on the rights of first-generation native-born citizens, slipping us further down the slippery slope of civil rights abuses that these mass deportations represent. If you want to join our resistance here and stay informed on the news that MAGA hates to hear, join us. Sub to Really American. It's free, and you'll help us get to 1 million. Thank you if you have.
Thank you.
We already know that Tom Homan, the answer to what would happen if a thumb f***ed John C. Reilly, that despite having a name close to human, this man seems to be completely without humanity, justifying the deportation of children by saying, well, technically, we only deported the mother.
No U.S. citizen child was deported. Deported means you got to be deported by the immigration judge. We don't deport U.S. citizens.
The mother was deported along with the children.
The children aren't deported. The mother chose to take the children with her. Now, when you enter the country illegally, and you know you're here illegally, and you choose to have your citizen child, that's on you. That's not on this administration. If you choose to put your family in that position, that's on them. But having a U.S. citizen child after you enter this country illegally is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It doesn't make you immune from our laws. If that's the message we send to the entire world.
So you don't think there should be compassionate consideration for a 4-year-old child undergoing treatment for cancer?
I didn't say that. I said
that was the question.
ICE officers do have discretion.
Yeah.
ICE officers do have discretion. I'm not familiar with the specific case. I don't know what facts surround this case. I've just made aware of this when you mentioned this morning. I was not aware of that case.
That sentiment was also echoed by DHS, who released a fact sheet trying to claim that the mothers chose to bring their children with them. Despite getting rid of DEI and only hiring the most qualified people, these releases are riddled with errors. And they sound like they were written by a pissed-off sorority girl. Once again, the media is shamefully peddling a false narrative in an attempt to demonize our ICE enforcement agents, who have already faced a 300% surge in assaults against them. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to raid people in the middle of the night. This is false and irresponsible. Rather than separate their families, ICE asked the mothers if they wanted to be removed with their children or if they wanted ICE to place the children with someone safe the parent designates. Both mothers chose to deport with their children. They're clearly claiming here that the mothers were 1, asked if they wanted their children to go with them, and 2, said, yes, I want them to come with me. The only problem is, that's not true. The attorneys for these women, as well as for this new case that I'm about to show you, argue that none of the mothers were properly informed about the option to have their legal children stay here in the U.S. with a designated caretaker, like a family member.
That is willfully misleading. They did not request their children to be deported with them. One of these children is 4 and has cancer and is undergoing treatment. Neither of the moms felt like they had any choice in the matter. And if it was truly a choice situation, then why forbid them from talking to their family members and attorneys? If this was a transparent situation where they could make a choice, then there would have been no reason for immigration authorities to specifically prevent them, despite many outreaches, from being able to talk to their family members and their lawyer to actually make that choice. And it is a form of family separation.
It's clear that ICE has developed a strategy. I'll show you how with this new mother who was just deported. First, they identify a mother who has children of legal or mixed immigration status, like in this case where Denise and Omar Pera Vargas had dropped off their 3 children, aged 9, 5, and 4, at school. So the kids were not with them. Then they got pulled over by Texas state troopers because their license plate was expired. They were arrested and turned over to ICE as suspected undocumented immigrants. The father was sent to an ICE detention center and deported, while the mother was released after being fitted with an electronic monitoring ankle bracelet by ICE. She was instructed to check back in at the new Pflugerville Processing Center on Tuesday. She was told that if she showed up, then she would be eligible for asylum as well as a work permit. So what happened here is two parents were detained by ICE. One of them was purposefully detained and deported immediately, and the other one was released while tracking her and then lured back in at a time in which she would have both of her children on her, presumably, and under false pretenses because they told her that she was going to be able to seek asylum and maybe get a work permit. The 39-year-old mother complied on the appointed day, bringing her kids along. Her understanding was that this was supposed to be a routine appointment, the spokesperson said. It was not a threat. But the mother and the kids became the latest people to vanish into the immigration system and be held incommunicado. Grassroots leadership and its legal team began an around-the-clock effort to locate them. We were trying to figure out where she was. ICE was not giving us the information. Oftentimes, these women may only speak limited English, and it's not even clear if agents are actually even asking these women if they want to contact a citizen caretaker for the kids at all. According to the mothers and their attorneys, they are not. Early Wednesday afternoon, Para Vargas telephoned the Grassroots folks to say that she had been deported. Their 3 children were with her, 2 of them citizens. When she called from the other side of the border, she said that she did sign a paper, but she wasn't exactly sure what it was. She did not understand what she was signing. The legal team would no doubt have advised her that as U.S. citizens, her younger 2 kids could not be deported if she chose to place them with a responsible caretaker, but she did not seem to have been given the opportunity for an informed choice. She never had a chance to consult with anybody, the spokesperson said. Any efforts from our end to be able to advocate for her release, or even for our legal team to be able to do work on her release, none of that was possible because we weren't even able to locate her. The children had been hastily deported before their mother had an opportunity to understand their rights and make a terrible choice that could only be worse if you are cheated of an opportunity to make it. They were taken from their home without the chance for them to even grab their belongings, like any toys, any clothes, anything that they need for their day-to-day lives, the spokesperson said. They don't have any of that, and that just includes the material possessions. There's also the long-term psychological damage. She added, the reality is that this is not the first time that ICE has done this. Stephen Miller, the demon from hell, said that if you do not deport the kids, they grow up to become adult immigrants. The sicko Stephen Miller has had it out for immigrant children for years now. Here's reporting from 2019 when he was going after kids during Trump's first term. Family separation at the border and kids in camps, that was all his doing. These people are all twisted, heartless knuckle-draggers who itch to find any excuse to exercise their cruelty. Remember, knowing your rights is one of the strongest weapons a person can have that doesn't have a trigger. So make sure that you or anyone you know who may be struggling with immigration, make sure that they know their rights. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.